Hello, my name is Laura Petracco, and I recently saw A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder at the Aronoff Center in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I am here to give you my personal review of the show. Gentleman's Guide is a musical comedy with a book and lyrics by Robert L. Friedman and music and lyrics by Stephen Lotvak. The show tells the hilarious story of Monty Navarro, an heir to a family fortune, who sets out to jump the line of succession by, you guessed it, eliminating the 8 pesky relatives that stand before him. All the while, Monty has to juggle his mistress, his fiancée, who is his cousin, and the constant threat of landing behind bars. It is a wildly funny show that won 4 Tony Awards in 2014, including Best Musical. Okay, like usual, I'm just gonna start at the top of my list and work my way down. The first thing that stood out to me was the set. The way the set was constructed was very clever. At the beginning of the show, the writers established that Monty is writing a book, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. There was a desk on the side of the stage where Monty sat whenever he was writing in that book. And then there was a smaller stage that was sitting on the Aronoff stage. That stage is where all of the stories that Monty recounts take place. On the back wall of that smaller stage, they would have projections that would show up during Monty's stories. Those projections added so much humor and detail to each of Monty's stories. The second thing on my list were the 2 love interests in the story. In the show, Monty falls in love with 2 different women. One whose name is Sibella, the other whose name is Phoebe. Sibella was more of a ditzy, materialistic type, and Phoebe was the more mature one that believed in love. It turns out Phoebe is a distant cousin of Monty's, but he will stop at nothing to find love. Kristen Bell Williams and Kristen Hahn were the 2 actresses that played these 2 women. They did such a marvelous job portraying these 2 very different characters. The third and best item on my list is Joan Rapson. Joan Rapson was the man who played the 9 Dysquith family members that Monty eliminated. He played a very breathy priest, a gay cousin, and a gaudy yet gullible aunt, to name a few. Each of the characters that he played were distinctively different and portrayed perfectly. By the time he came to the stage as his 3rd character, you could hear the murmur of the audience start to get a little bit louder as they realized that he was going to be playing every single one of these family members. He will end up being your favorite part of the show. Alright, that is all that I have for you this time. I hope you enjoyed my review of A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder Tour from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'd like to give a special thanks to Broadway in Cincinnati for inviting me to see this production. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon for another Broadway in Cincinnati review.